It's really privileged to have discussion and presentation, the concept note on the how the city we perceive as a smart city, and what actually the concept of a smart city was. Since just I want to share some experience that since the beginning of smart city challenges, when the first smart city challenges concept came in 2015, and we were the part of REPL make the smart city challenges Bhopal smart city, which was selected in top 25 smart city challenges in first phase, and then we participated in the Dehradun Smart City Challenge, and it also got selected. So during the smart city concept, there were various parameters which were decided ki on those basis the city will be selected for the development as a smart city. And the parameters were the core infrastructure element, governance reforms, and quality of life indicators. What does it mean? Means core infrastructure element means what is the assessment of the city was done on the basis of the how adequate the water supply, and means core infrastructure physical as well as digital infrastructure gap assessment need to be done. So that unless if we say a person is smart, it doesn't mean you wear a very good smart cloth or very branded cloth and you will become a smart. Unless from inside your health is not smart, your body is not fit to pace the cope up the growth pace, you will not be considered as a smart. Similarly, it applies on the city also. If city need to be a smart or want to be a smart or a smarter, then the city need some basic things. And in India, since long time we were having lack of various physical, digital infrastructure gaps. So parameters was decided. Okay, on the basis of physical and digital infrastructure, the assessment will be done. Then after the physical and digital infrastructure, the next is governance parameter. How online system, because every time everything was on paperwork and the transparency, the digital form were very less. So,
sir, excuse me. So, do you have a slide to share? Do you have a presentation to share?
no, I was just making the keynotes on that.
Okay, sure. No, thank
you. So on that basis, the online service delivery, previously all the e-governance and all the portals were, if you have to do anything with the government, then the physical file and physically the things need to be gathered. But in a smart city, the governance parameter was fixed. Okay, the how we make the online service delivery, how the GIS based mapping, so that the exact accurate whether it is land use or any assets can be assessed online. And then integrated control command center for the surveillance and the citizen portal platform need to be developed. And then the other thing was the environmental environmental things, because unless if you make the physical infrastructure, if you make the governance online, but if you not consider the environmental factor, sustainability factor, then it cannot be a smart, because the city should be livable. And on those parameters, the smart city concept was developed. So since we are lacking with the basic infrastructure, so more emphasis was given on the provision of the identifying the gaps of physical and digital infrastructure and fulfill that, so that a city become a healthy city, and then it will become the smarter with the technological intervention. So when we call the city as a smart city, when it is safe, it is sustainable, it is inclusive, and then technological integration. Unless the city is safe, sustainable, or inclusive, inclusive means the public participation, the citizen participation, and all the concept with dovetail with the technological intervention, then the city will become smart. In this, the urban planning role is very important, because when we think about when we talk about the urban planning part, then it starts from broader approach to narrow down at the building level approach. Means when we talk about the city as smarter, then firstly we talk about the how city as a broader aspect, what are the things need to be done with respect to land use, with respect to environmental factor, with respect to all the natural conservation factor, then land availability factor, then various physical infrastructure factor at the city level, and then narrow down to what should be the type of building, the norms, type of streets, the other infrastructure, what should be there. So urban planning is very broad part. It look upon the broader horizon as well as the at a building level horizon. So urban planning plays a very important role to making a city smart. In this, there were various factors were identified ensuring safety and structural stability. Means if and when we tell this city is very smart, or this city is very safe and structurally stable, means that city should be ready with the equipped with the earthquake prone activity. The building should be earthquake prone. The flood, cyclone, or fires, these all factors need to be catered in a very efficient manner. Then only the city will become smarter. Means that city should be earthquake resistant. All the construction, considering the various NBCC norms and various the building guidelines, it should be strictly followed. The norms is made, but if it is followed strictly, then only the earthquake resistant construction, the fire safety standards, if we meet, then and the disaster resilient infrastructure we develop, then only the city will become smart. Many where you see that if a fire, a small activity creates a very huge fire in the city, and it becomes uncontrollable. And in meantime, the various property, financial, and human losses occurs. So, are we ready with those things? Are we prepared? First, it should not happen. And if it happens by any chance, are we capable enough to control all these things within a time, so that the human loss should be very, very minimal and any loss should be minimized? Then only we can tell, okay, we have a smart system which controls the things, because disaster may happen anytime. We cannot control the flood, we cannot stop the flood, we cannot stop the earthquake, but yes, we can make a city earthquake resilient, flood resilient, or we can minimize, we can take we can expect we can speculate, okay, at particular time period this type of things may happen. Means that the alarming and warning system and preparedness for that. Okay, if in this particular period flood will preparedness about the flood resilience, okay, in this particular period the flood will impact these areas, and these areas will be more vulnerable, and these areas having, though less valuable but more value, financially or human value will be affected. So on that basis we can prepare ourselves and minimize the losses, minimize the any type of hazards. Similarly, in the case of earthquake or firefighting, so if we are equipped with the first alarming system, and second the proactiveness to control the any hazard in time, then that we consider, okay, for what are the things that need to be done. If it is done, then only the city can be smart. Then sustainable and green development, because we are living in the environment. If we make any city with any type of technology, everything, but if there is no conservation of the natural resources, And if we are not able to contribute to the making the city livable in terms of air pollution control, water availability, less dependency on the more dependency on the renewable source of energy, like the rainwater harvesting system, unless we'll adopt at the building level, not only at the city level, at the building level, because a small activity accumulates and becomes bigger. So from the building level to the whole city level, if we make a plan, if we strictly follow the guidelines, not in the terms of just making it voluntarily adaptable, but compulsorily adaptable, unless we make it, then the system will not work. And for making the because water is a scarce now, we world is fighting for, since long time world is fighting for the mineral waste or oil waste fight occurs, and monopoly of the those countries which have more control over the oil, that is the most powerful. In coming time it will become those country who has more water resources, that will be more powerful, or good quality of air, that will be more powerful, because the city should be livable. Unless you, if you don't have livable city, then any technology, any intelligence system, any good traffic management system will not, and it will make for what? The citizens. And citizens will live where? Where they will feel the city is more safe for it. So rainwater harvesting, the solar rooftop installation from the building level to each and every, the compulsion of that, then only the dependency on the coal-based electricity or other resource-based electricity will decrease, and it will ultimately, indirectly, will benefit the environment, lower the carbon footprint, lower the carbon emission, and ultimately the environment will be more purified. So energy efficient building design and waste management system. So these all things need to be strictly adopted, not make it as a voluntary adoption, but the compulsory adoption, the strict regulation. Then only we can make our city sustainable and green development. Then at the broader level, the land use planning as a master plan, when we make the master plan, we generally try to accommodate the things. Okay, means curative. Our first panelist told that we are curative in nature, right? We are very really, our planning is, or our every step is curative. Means this hazard or this thing will happen, then we will proactively, okay, what is the cure for that? We are not preventive in nature. So our planning should be such that it should be preventive in nature. Means we know that water is scarce. We know the green is more important for making the city livable. So when we plan the city, when we make the master plan, it is not first road network, it is not first buildings need to be first mapped or something. The first approach should be the first green and blue mapping of the city. Means once we mark it, okay, this is the blue channel. Everybody must be observing since long time in whatever anybody who is having more than 30 years or 40 years of age, they must have clearly observed that in front of their eye they must have seen the water body in childhood. They must have seen the pond, and now that pond is not existing. Means in 20-30 years we are observing that lots of water bodies got dried, and it is dumped with the solid waste, or it is encroached with the something, and it has become the concrete. So why it is happening? Because we are not restricting, we are not mapping the blue and green part of the city. First make the blue and green mapping, and everywhere you will see the at least blue mapping is integrated, but now it has become defragmented. It is not integrated, and because of that only, not integration of blue mapping is resulting to water logging. When flood comes, flood is a natural thing. You cannot stop that. But the impact of flood, the hazardous nature of flood can be reduced with efficient planning. Means if you have good interlinking of the blue part of the city, means all the water body and integration and the percolation, the sufficient amount of percolative surface, then water will fall down heavily and it will, maximum part will go under beneath, or if it is it will be through surface runoff with integrated water channel, it will go outside the city and it will go into the main river. But everywhere we are obstructing that, increasing the surface runoff, the speed of surface runoff increasing, percolation is decreasing, and everywhere we making the obstruction. So if these things will be not captured, then we cannot make the city. Whatever the technology you adopt, whatever the infrastructure you lay down, but ultimately in this period, it will show the actual picture of the city. This is not a smart city. If rainfall comes and within 10 minutes or within 30 minutes, the flooded area becomes in original position, that is called a smartness. Okay, the things happened and in very less time, it has come to the normal, it has normalized, and it is not affecting the livelihood of the citizens. Then it will become smarter. Then in city there are, because safety is also very important. Safety and traffic transportation, these two are very important. If we have to make a city livable, safe for the citizens, we have to identify the blind spots, black spots. And those black spots and blind spots that need to be put under severe surveillance and make them livable, make them most vibrant, so that, because in city, those black spots and blind spots, these are the main points of any type of corruption, any type of malfunctioning, increasing the, promoting the nuisance in that city. So that need to be treated, and ultimately the waste, solid waste management. If you become very good planning, water body is very good, everything is very good, but if solid waste management is not smart enough and it is not taken care effectively, then the city will not become smarter. So these are the things which need to be strictly followed and make compulsorily adoption. Then only the city will become a smart city.